All right. I hate to be on my soapbox this morning. I'm not really on a soapbox this morning, but I do want to talk about this. And it's real scary. It's real scary what's happening in social media. And that's why I've decided to separate myself from it. I say a lot of things, and a lot of the videos that I'm making these days are intentional. They are very intentional because I feel like whoever needs to be, I don't want to say woke up because those words are so heavily used. Wake up, woke up, woke. I'm so tired of I'm tired of hearing it, man. Oh, I have chatters. One EQL and Jen. Hello. Good morning. Oh my God. Woke up with some things on my mind today, and I thought I would come and share a little bit. So, if you guys have not subbed to the Witches Broom channel, um, I have I feel like it was a powerful discussion about the summer solstice and then the Sabbaths, even though I didn't really break it down. A lot of the stuff is like it's coded. It's and it's not a lot of the stuff that we learn, it's not necessarily broken down. But I gotta say some obvious stuff today is that it's a lot of dumbing down. It is. It's bad. It's really bad too. And it's hard. It's difficult. It is. It's difficult. It's frustrating and it's difficult at the same time. The amount of dumbing down that is going on, obviously and blatantly. And it's scary. It's scary how people take to it. But I do feel like this is not a cliche statement that people fear what they don't know. People fear the unknown or what they don't understand. And how like it is so simple. I wouldn't say it's simple. It's not simple, but it's almost like this information or this knowing that people don't get. And so what ends up happening is that you end up not getting the information, not even because you're distracted, but you're taught to have an understanding that if you understand, especially if you're a woman, you know, which is why you don't see people questioning a lot of males, especially male spiritualists. You don't really see a lot of the traumatizing things happening to them. Not really. The obvious agendas. You don't see that against the males. But when it comes to women, when it comes to females, they want to specifically separate you from not just your power, but from source purposely. And I've been disappointed a lot. I've been disappointed a lot, which is why, oh man, how do I put this without triggering people? Because I ain't trying to trigger nobody. It's just the obvious. It's obvious when people are on an agenda. And I don't feel that as a spiritualist or a witch that I have to do that to people. I don't feel that I should have to do that to my audience. I feel that I should give my audience whatever's left of y'all. I feel like I should, you know, give y'all the truth about it. I feel like I should, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really scary. Good good morning, John Lane. Good morning. Oh goodness. That like that's an interesting statement. They don't want you to believe in your own power. They don't, unless it's embarrassing or it's got like they want you to be dumb, pretty much, you know. And it is an agenda against witches and wise people, and it's scary. It's scary the way that people conform. They conform real easily because they want to hear what they want to hear, or either they want to be entertained. That's just like when I speak about the summer solstice or when I speak about any of the Sabbaths. Okay, summer solstice, the earth is going to literally be towards the northernmost point of the equator. And people will be like, huh? you know, what about that rap song that Little Boosie just put out? Or what about this drama over here? And it's sad. It saddens me. It does, because people just don't realize what is happening. And then when they do speak to you about it, you're being taught to be afraid of it. And sometimes it makes me angry, but anger can be a useful emotion. It can, if you know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you, John. Yeah, people just like that day is gonna come and go, right? That day is gonna come and go, and people, I mean, like they specifically during times when you are supposed to be connecting with source, And I'm not gonna break it down for y'all. I'm gonna let y'all figure it out, man. Okay, as far as like what's happening when the earth and the world is doing what it's doing, when things are happening, right? I'm not I'm not gonna I'm not gonna break it down anymore. I'm not gonna do it because I feel like even if I did that, people wouldn't listen because I'm not speaking about drama, right? But if you notice on important days like the full moon and the new moon, just as simple as that, like during full moons, during eclipses, whether or not it's solar or lunar, and during the Sabbaths, they have stuff put in to place to dumb you down. They do. And I can't tell content creators what kind of content they should make. And I'm not saying that they have to talk about their understanding of it. But what they do talk about are things that are pretty much pulling you away from source, from the wisdom and energy and just that understanding. So it's being done purposely. Even the agenda against me, I feel like when I moved into my home in March of 2020, I feel like it was a mistake for me to announce it because I feel like I did people more harm than good. I feel like what I should have did was I should have just moved into my home and I should have set up a nice little reading area in my kitchen and just kind of not said or done anything. Because as soon as I moved into this home and people could confirm that I had embraced my knowledge and that just everything, just they went into high gear to try to destroy it, to try to discredit it, to try to lower it, you know. And how do you it was hard to function in that kind of environment where there was pretty much sexism, even racism. Those things are a part of the dumbing down process. Those are the byproduct of society or the world being dumb. All of those things, all of those isms, that is the direct result of being dumbed down, which is why, of course, if you, oh man, yeah. And see, that's the whole thing about it, though. It just because for me, knowing what I know, knowing what I know, once you have this secret knowledge, and once you have this, it's something that you can't lose. It's something that you can't go back. You can't digress once you've done that, you know. But all of these things just being done, and then people seeing people being entertained by it, and then people working double time, overtime, triple time, quadruple time to silence me, to censor me. That's why I don't like that saying move in silence, because that's exactly what they wanted me to be, was silent, even dead. You know, how dare you? How dare you help people? How dare you help people not be dumb? How dare you? And it was so much that was put into it. It wasn't just by individual people. It was literally a conspiracy to make sure that you stay dumb and weak as possible. It was like, I'm telling you, and it got downright scary. It did. It was almost like a threat. It was like, if you don't stop being a wise woman, we gonna do something to you. And that's how they programmed you. And I see even people in the black community doing that to their own people these days. It's almost like breaking a horse. It's like they broke people. It's like people are broken because of it. And I feel horrible that I was used as an example. Even though nobody broke me, they still used me for that purpose. It's just like, and this has nothing to do with quote unquote slavery, but that's how they enslaved you. That's how anybody becomes enslaved. I'm not just talking about black people. Anybody. That's how they enslave you. That's how they pretty much hijack you and kidnap you, is by forcing you almost to do what they want you to do only. It's like you're being forced to do it, right? And if you don't do it, there's going to be some kind of implied violence that's going to happen, or some kind of consequence that is going to happen. And they even lie about the consequences. They will even make it up, and it's like they're machines. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if what they're saying is the truth, or if it's based in truth, they're still going to say it. And that was what was so scary, because so many people are on that agenda to keep you stupid, to keep you stupid. Even people that are supposed to be in the spiritual community, you know, like, mm, it's scary. Oh, oh, John, I just saw your comment. Even no, that was all of that. You know what? Personal life, that was more of a. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That was more of a program. That was more so, everything that happened was not on my end, but on the other side, it was totally disingenuous the whole time. And it was really that male agenda to send out a message that you're not attractive. Pretty much they wanted to relate being a wise witch, or even being standing in your power, as being unattractive or disgusting. That it was a programming that I was used for. So that wasn't even that was a part of the dumbing down agenda. It was. And it is the truth that women can't be weak when it comes to love. Love should never be a weakness. Love should never be an embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that, and I'm disappointed in myself that I allowed it, because I shouldn't have, but I also think that everything happens for a reason. So, but even that, You know, all of it was a part of the agenda. It was. But see, when you've been told to do something and you don't even really understand why you're being told to do it, but you do it anyway because you feel like you have to do it to survive, what do you do? You know? So that's just like a few years back, I heard a black spiritualist on here saying that the solstices were bullshit. And I guess that was her opinion of it. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But I think that just because you have your own opinion, you shouldn't withhold valuable information from people just because of your experiences, even because somebody else may experience it differently. Somebody else might have a deeper level of understanding. And just because you may not have the connection or the understanding of it, just because of that doesn't mean that you should cut off other people from that energy. So yeah, and I just, hey, Stephanie Ramirez, hello. Yeah, yeah, hey, one EQ. Yeah, a lot of oh goodness. It said, oh wow. And it's a crowd effort, I don't know. Like sometimes I think, you know, some of the people that were sent to dumb y'all down have admitted to being paid actors. They have. It's almost like crisis acting and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's very weird, and I don't know exactly why I was the target because I guess it was the people that were supposed to connect to. It ain't even the divine, but it's the source, which I guess you could say the same thing. Anybody that was meant to connect to source, that was connected to me, you know, you were, meaning I've still given the information. I went through it like a soldier, I guess, a warrior. I don't want to say soldier, a warrior. I still provided the information, but I think that all of the drama overrided it because people love their drama, people love their gossip, people love to hear anything except for what may empower them or their lives. People love that kind of stuff. Honestly, as a woman, as a woman and a mother and a grandmother at this point, what's important to me and what I would rather do if I were given a choice. I was given that choice a long time ago, and I obviously still made the decision to stick to the path. I would rather have the universe, the entire universe, than what is being offered when I have to give it up, when I have to give that up, when people tell me, "Oh, you need to give this up." And I would rather say it is a sacrifice when you think about it, because I would rather have that and leave that knowledge to my children and my grandchildren and then people that are meant to get it long after I'm gone. I would rather do that than fit in and be accepted. You know what I'm saying? I would rather do that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I would rather do that. That's how important it is. You know what I'm saying? It not being seen as cute or pretty or accepted, and then it's the big thing to where if you're a woman, you're supposed to just desire a husband, and your family, of course. Yeah, those things are very important. Many of us witches have families. We have, but it's what's been kind of mixed up, and the problems that people have been having within their families, that sometimes family can be a part, not your children, not your children. They can be used as pawns though, if they allow themselves to be. But like, it seems like everybody is in on the agenda to dumb everybody down, because and what's terrible is when you see somebody actually trying to stop somebody's spiritual ascension. It's almost like trying to purposely stop a baby from thriving, which would be considered abuse. If you were to purposely try to impede or encumber, or encroach somebody's mind from being able to grow and appeal. I guess a lot of people see ascension as some kind of death or something, and it's not. It I don't see it that way. I see it as elevation, understanding, wisdom, connection. Because a lot of you guys can even have the understanding, but be disconnected. And that's what's really scary. That's what's really scary, is when the dumbing down process is where they are disconnecting you from source. They are. And it'll be obvious. It'll be obvious, especially when they are, doing things so that they can zoom in on your crown chakra. They home in on the crown chakra. They always talking about the head and hair. I wish I honestly, I'm end up shaving my whole damn head off again. I'm going through that again. I'm going through that process again, because it eliminates that, it eliminates that. I think the most that they gave, especially to the black community, about your crown chakra is that your hair is an antenna, and it stopped at that. It stopped at that. It stopped at, and they even tried to stop that. They, like, that was important within itself. Everybody's hair is an antenna, though, not just black people. But they tried to even stop that by, calling you a nappy head and stuff, and trying to make you feel bad for the way your hair grows out of your scalp. But even that isn't even important. The importance is what you can't see. How is the crown chakra connecting to the universe? How are you communicating? How are you receiving? And they will purposely try to cut you off. Even people that have a connection. And that's called corruption. You know, that's called corruption. I don't want to live in a world filled with chaos. Not to say I want to die, no. But I would rather not. I don't want to say I don't want to live. Let me take that back. Let me rebuke that minute. I would I would rather live in a world where people are connected. Why fear that? Why fear people being educated and connected? But so many people are. Why? Because they want to be on top. And I don't agree with that. You know? So it's just so sad, and you can already see it happening. The summer solstice is in a day. Today's the 20th, I believe. It's tomorrow, and people will be trying to dumb you down. And when if I'm over here, or when I'm over here connecting you, you're looking at somewhere else, and what I'm saying don't even matter. So you still don't get the energy, you don't get the information. Even if you got the energy, you still wouldn't know what to do with it. Even if you got the energy, which is information as well as energy. Information is powerful, and you got to be careful with what information you listen to or that you believe in, because a lot of this stuff that you're being told is not messages from the gods, which is the universe. It's not coming as a direct message. It's not. There are many false prophets. Like, I will agree with the Bible when it says that there are many false prophets, and they don't like it. They don't like it, especially if you're a woman that is educating people. They really don't like it. And then they'll say it's the government, which it's not the government. It's more so society that's dumbing each other down, purposely cutting each other off, telling you what you should care about. You know what it reminds me of? Y'all remember in that movie, The Labyrinth, when old girl is going to save her brother from the Goblin King, and she goes and she's on her journey and she's almost there. But then that lady, she ends up being put in a reality where she's back in her bedroom, and this old lady shows up, and the old lady was almost like played the role of you know how, like, in Snow White, how the witch shows up and she gives her that poison apple, but it's kind of like in comparison to make Snow White fall into a deep sleep, so that so that she'll be I guess, so in that scene in the movie, the lady's like, look, I've got all your dolls, and oh, look at this, and look at this, and oh, don't forget about this. And then she's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be doing something important. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. They distract you, and they fill your head up with all of this stuff. And a lot of people don't understand that that's how you're feeding your soul. That's how you're feeding your spirit, is by the things that you listen to, and like, I literally have wondered why I felt bad. I felt guilt, but it was something that I felt like I needed to talk about so that I could get people back on the path. But you can't force it. You can't really force it. But I even felt bad because I would have to talk about these fake things that are being put into place so that you can be distracted, so that you can feed your soul with things that are not even real. So basically they were telling you that all of this was nonsense. It's not real, that the summer solstice, those things are nonsense. Witchcraft is nonsense. Life is nonsense. The energy inside of your body is nonsense, and it makes me want to eventually just get away from it, because the moment that you connect with nature and you do it in a deep way. And so I've I'm gonna tell you something. I've been wanting to take a vacation for at least the past 7 years, and not the type of vacation that other people take. I've been wanting to go somewhere in a foresty area where there's, water and waterfalls and nature, and just turn my phone completely off for about a week or two and just connect. And I feel like that is being denied of a lot of us. I felt that just for some reason, they don't want you to get a break. They want your mind bombarded with bull crap. It's so sad. It is. It's very sad. And I can't stand behind people that do that. I can't stand beside them or behind them or anywhere near them, because they almost made it seem like I was put to shame myself. I was treated like a leper. I was treated like a social leper. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, oh, you don't fit in. You not cool. You not. So it was an isolation process that was done. And I can imagine that a lot of people, even though they won't admit it, because people have a hard time admitting when they were wrong about something, they do. And that right there is going to hold you back, when you can't even acknowledge or admit when you have misjudged. And you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, oh my God, I misjudged. And it wasn't about the decisions necessarily that you made, because you can't help what people do, what other people, you can't help what they do. You can't, you know? I mean, obviously, if you woke up this morning, those people didn't take your life. So that's where, but it's a part of the journey and the learning process. And people can't even accept that. People can't even understand that it's a journey. They can't. It's not. They're not thinking that way. And that's why I try not to be a part of the drama, because I know that the drama is being created with a purpose. It is. It's being created with a purpose. And the purpose is to dumb you down. That is the purpose. Period. It's to weaken you. Totally. To weaken you. To weaken your mind, to weaken your body, to weaken your spirit, so that you can be done however, so you can be a pawn, and for you to go along, with it. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. These are things that usually adults, but when you think about it, it's not just people that are watching us. There's a lot of kids that are watching us. We don't even know it. We don't even know that there are children that are watching and listening to everything that we say, and that is feeding their soul, especially when You have a 13-year-old or a 15-year-old that is seeking spiritual knowledge because they're getting younger and younger these days as they seek this knowledge. So it just is scary, the people that are on the agenda of fear and loathing and narcissism, that narcissism programming, it's meant to dumb you down. It's meant to disconnect you. So, and I've been, of course, yeah, I've been wanting to stay off of social media as much as possible, but my spirits compel me to come in social media so that I can educate as many people as possible. But how do you do that when people when you have people trying to make you look dumb all the time? And I don't feel dumb. I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not about being smart or stupid or even powerful, when it comes to circumstances and timing. But that's what they wanted to do. And that's why I am walking away from anybody that tried to make me look stupid, because when you were doing that, you were on an agenda to make that trickle down, not just to my children, but to the people that are meant to get the messages through me. You cut them off. You interfered. You purposely did that and tried to cut my following off and tried to do the most. And that's something that, like, right now, when I woke up this morning, I feel a complete disdain, especially for males that are doing that, because they had no right. They had no right to try to disconnect women from themselves, and then using sex and other things as a weapon against your mind so that you could look at me like some leper or some stupid person that you shouldn't respect. And this is something that, you know this is something that I can forgive and move on once things are put back into balance the way that they should be. But right now, I have to be at war with those people. I have to be. I can't be nice. I can't be forgiving. I can't be relenting, because, it's not about being insulted, but it's about the fact that, it not only affected me negatively and they were proud of it, but it also affected everybody else. Like when my channel got flagged in 2020, it was almost like Armageddon. It was bad because my channel, my way of communicating, and this is why people that are on that agenda, they want you to be stupid, but that's what they're doing. If you have any kind of valuable information, and it's not just about being successful and making the most money, but it's about making the world better. You know what I'm saying? It's about making people's lives better. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? It is. As a mentor and as somebody that brings this information, and I found my life being threatened for telling the truth. My life was being threatened. That's how serious they are about dumbing you down. So, people that participated in that, people that decided, oh, I want to flag your channel because, That to me was you trying to cut off my communication from the world so that you could carry out your agenda against me, but then also you have an agenda against the whole world, and yeah, those people are, I guess they're possessed. My knowledge and higher learning tells me that they're not possessed by native entities on this earth. This is interdimensional. It's got to be, because it doesn't make any sense, you know, especially when they have like almost like there's even educational programs that are being put into place. It is so that people can wake up. Like, for example, one of the TV shows on Netflix that was very, very popular, and I can't even think of the name of it. It's about the zombies. Who would want to live in a world full of zombies? But that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. And with that's what a zombie is. A zombie is dumbed down. It's like de-evolution. It's like evolution completely in reverse. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, and it's not like you have to feel like, oh my God, we're so, it calm down, relax, keep calm. So I'm not trying to create fear right now. But you know, when you look around at the world and you see people literally turning into zombies based upon their behavior, people shooting people randomly, that's a zombie, right? And why would you want to live in a world like that instead of making it better? But it's like the blind leading the blind. And it isn't a world that you would envision to live in. It's almost like it is a war. And it's not just a war or a war zone. It's about the preservation of nature. It's about the earth. It's about preserving our earth. And then people totally got away from that. It's about protecting the earth, right? And it turned into something else. It was really, it did feel like an alien invasion. It did. So it just, I am going to end up taking a much needed break from social media because I need it and I deserve it. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that I can't look at it no more. I can't listen to it anymore. Um, Even when the people that are a part of the agenda and they don't even realize that they're a part of the agenda, even against me, I don't want to pick up and sense that they've said something and that you guys have listened, because I feel that disconnect whenever one of these um, males says something, and then I won't even have to look at them. I don't even have to listen to them or to even be subscribed to their channels to know that when I go live or when I upload a video or even when I just make a community post, I don't even I don't even have to actually listen anymore or hear it. I can just sense the vibrations that are coming from my channel, that people have went and listened to, that disgusting stuff about me. I don't even have to listen to them anymore to know. Hold on a minute, guys. Okay, I wanted to make sure. I don't even have to listen to it anymore. You can feel the disconnect. You can feel it. You can feel people disconnected. It's like I'm being used as like this poster child to cut you off, right? To dumb you down. And I'm extremely disappointed in that. You know, I am. So I remember one time, I think it was in 2021, and I was sitting here listening to something that I would never even be interested in listening to. But I was listening to a show that was being done, and all of a sudden, it felt like my brain was shutting down. It felt like it was definitely the gods. It was definitely the divine. It was that was pretty much communicating with me at that moment. And it was just like, I felt like my brain was on, it was just being fried and pulled, and felt like just, it, oh man, like Tweety birds was around my head. I didn't feel dizzy, but I just felt like, I don't want to say I felt like I was going crazy, but it just felt like something was happening to my brain. And I immediately turned it off. I immediately, because it was like warning, 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 something is not right. And I never forget this. This is something that I will never forget. Like, there's certain experiences that you have that you just don't forget. I immediately turned my smart TV to, or did I have my smart TV at the time? Anyway, I put a frequency, a brain healing frequency, like my instinct told me to do a brain healing frequency, to listen to a brain healing frequency. And I had to switch, and I had to literally listen to that frequency and sort of, meditate, because I was doing work at the same time. I was actually doing some dark workings at the same time. It wasn't, I wouldn't say that I was cursing somebody at the time, but I was just, doing something that involved that dark energy and dark matter and stuff. And so, for the duration of the time that I was doing my work and until I went to sleep, I had to listen to that frequency, that brain healing frequency, because, it was some kind of, I don't know if it was like whatever entity was attached to that person that was causing them to be dumbed down and to do dumb things. It seemed like whatever it was trying to eat the brains of the people that was listening to it. And I man, it was like, oh hell no. When I felt that, I was sitting there and I was like, oh God, I had to turn it. And then it was like instantly I felt better. So I, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you straight up and down. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up and down what's unfair about that situation, which is why I even still talk about it. The only reason why I even still talk about it is because at the same time I'm being scapegoated on. I'm being blamed. And I'm like, well, I'm not responsible for that. I'm being blamed for it at the same time. So as their entities dumb you down, they're saying Jamila's doing it, which is weird, right? Yo, like, I'm like, no. Yeah. And whenever you catch a curse, Whenever you catch a curse, you're not gonna catch a diamond or a gem. You're gonna catch a curse from that. It's being set up for people to blame me when I don't have anything to do with it. I'm not an investor. I'm not a viewer. I'm not an avid watcher. I don't even like it. But people will listen because it's presumably, or it's supposed to look like a man, right? So if a man said it or did it, that completely discounts everything that Jamila said. It don't matter because a man doesn't agree with her. And you know what? If a man comes on here and is disrespectful to me, I'm not a real witch or I'm not powerful enough because a man called me out of my name. See, and that's the type of dumbing down that has been done, right? And so as a witch, knowing who I am, which is why I don't contend with that or conform with that, right? So being a witch and knowing that for some odd reason, and it was always a mistake, because I don't even believe that witches cursed whole towns and villages. I don't believe that, right? I believe that the witch probably said that at the last minute to try to save her life, while she was being macheted or beheaded or hung or burned. I believe that many of our witchy ancestors would, at the last minute, if you hurt my family, if you hurt me, I'm going to curse the land. But I think it was God. I think it was God that cursed the land after they slaughtered all those witches. So that connection all of us witches have, they want to tell us that it's not real, and who they think we going to listen to. Like, what did they think the result of all of that was going to be? So then you go through this thing to where you know that you can't trust most of these men out here. They can't even trust themselves. And it's real disappointing because men are, you would think that they're not, well, we can't say they're not supposed to be doing that because they are doing it. But the problem is that people believe in them. People believe in them in spite of what their knowledge is, what they've learned in history. So then I'm thinking, okay, so men are trying to dumb down society. Men are trying to dumb down women. And then that's what puts me on the plight of feminism. I have to go back to feminism because that is a source of feminine power whenever you get through. Okay. It is. Okay. It's just, yeah. So honestly, a lot of people think I'm playing along with this game. I'm not playing any games with any men. If you are a man that did that to me, you are not going to be trusted. You are not going to be accepted. You are not. You're not. Because not only did you help dumb down the masses and you affected other women and you affected people negatively on, having to do with something that I believe in, something that is important, okay? Something that is important, not just to me, but for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only that, you tried to ruin my children's future. You tried to literally destroy our timeline. You participated in that. So I can't get down with that. I can't, you know, even when even when I was doing the promotion for my especially when I was doing the promotion for my freaking apprentices, men and their agents are trying to isolate me. And I'm really irritated with it to the point of no return. They were, and so it ain't. It ain't just about the money. The money is going to happen. The money is always going to happen. Period. Period. They don't understand that, but it's not about that. But it's about, I don't want her to have any friends. What? And they still think that I'm playing the game. Like people think it's a game. Like if you did me like that, you are cut off. Period. For good. I'm never, no. 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 For you to try to cut me off and try to cut people off from me and isolate me, I will never have anything to do with you ever again, because you were trying to cut off my communication, not only with my people that I'm supposed to be aligned with, that I'm supposed to elevate, that's supposed to elevate me, and we supposed to elevate together. You trying to cut me off, my communication off completely. You trying to shut me down completely, and I will not have it. I will not have it. I will not have anything to do with a man that played those games with me. And people are still playing the game. And if you are a woman that is expecting me to play that game with any man, to where my life is being compromised, or my livelihood, not just my livelihood, but something that I believe in is being compromised, I don't want nothing to do with you either. If you think it's a game, because it is not a game. I am not playing any games. I am not. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I've been so vocal about it, about not giving a damn about being single. Oh, really? You want to shame me because I'm not married? I'm going to laugh in your face. I'm going to laugh in your face because this is one of the many things that I despise. And this is a program, almost like an engineering of the woman of the witches. And they knew us from the time we came into this world, who we were, and they tried to use that. They tried to use that as a weapon against us, and I'm not going to become outraged by it. I'm going to end this conversation right now to let y'all know that if it's a man that is a part of that agenda, he's not allowed in my life. Say one thing, even any innuendo, even hint around to it, and you're done. And you're done. And like, I swear to God, any kind of demeaning comment, anything subjugating, anything to try to lower me in any way. I'm talking about, all you got to do is say it once, because they disguise it with jokes. You're out of here. I don't even want to talk to you. Like I'm already, like, so honestly, with so many of them on that agenda, to where it's almost like they want to treat you like you're a dumb bobblehead or something, I'll hang up and never speak to you again. No, no. Hey, Miss Laverne Cheesecakes, no, no. They tried to take everything that was about the woman and dumb it down and belittle it. Even Miss Laverne Cheesecakes, you make cheesecakes, right? Right? That's called kitchen witchery. They tried to reduce everything, and then they wonder why we got trust issues. Now I understand why women convert to lesbianisms and start dating studs, because it's the closest to a man that you're going to get, that you may want. As far as with my love ascension, how I feel as somebody that has evolved when it comes to the way that I look at love, when it comes to romantic partnerships, I'm no longer giving men a pass on that. Oh, well, he's a man. And, men are weak minded, men are dumb. They not dumb. They know exactly what they doing. They playing dumb. They're being manipulative. So I don't even want to hear it no more. I don't even want to hear it. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it's pretty much where I'm at. And people sit back and they wait. They sit back and they wait like that, like I'm being judged based upon what this man is doing, and it's making me wanna set things on fire. It's making me, maybe that's what it's meant to do. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. I ain't even gonna mention that. I ain't even gonna mention it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah. No, lesbians ain't happy all the time. That being a lesbian don't necessarily mean happiness. But I think that probably the freedom from men, which they're not free, lesbians get attacked by men all the time. Even from the LGBT community, they get attacked. So, it's yeah. I'm not saying that I want to live in a world completely free of men. I have two sons that if you try to put your hands on them, you're going to lose a limb. Okay. You're going to lose a limb if you try to mess with my sons. My sons are my sons. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's like you just want men to shut up and stop doing that. And how dare you judge me based upon a man? And he's trying to super long extend the feeding process. And I I just I like it just it's preposterous. It literally is very preposterous. It is. Mm-hmm. Right. I like the way Miss Laverne Cheesecake said that. That's why I'm minimal on Facebook, Insta, the male stalk. When you communicate, they have little sense. Ain't that the freaking truth? And as women, and you know what? You would think that as a man, they would figure out why women are revolting. And the women, I guess, that are willing to be up underneath them, I guess those women are, what, are they not good enough or something? Why don't you just focus on the women that you're dealing with? Why are you focusing on me? Mm-hmm. I think that they are afraid. You know what I'm saying? I think that men don't want women, like, they are very quick to try to tear down the friendships between women. They are. And even though women will do that, women will try to cut you off from your dude, which I don't think is right to do that. But I think that men are much harsher with it. Like, as far as with my coven, it's not going to be a sexual relationship, but men are afraid of that. And okay, let's say that I did start a coven and I just so happen to start a relationship with a woman within my coven. Why is it your business, and what business of it is yours? Because I'm not with you, I'd never trust you again, nor men like you, even though I know what I want. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want, one thing about the lesbianism thing, and I'm serious about this. Okay. This has nothing to do with what a man told me. This has something to do with what I told me. Is that I know that my other half is a male. He is. That I know. Okay. So I wouldn't want to get involved in a lesbian relationship and knowing that it's temporary, knowing that that eventually it would, you know, it would have to end. So I wouldn't even want to do that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because like genuinely I'm not a lesbian, but that was another part of the agenda. But that agenda was put into place. I have no idea why. I've been angry at men. I've went through phases, but I'm not a lesbian. And I think that people want me to be a lesbian. And trust me, you know, it's almost like a non-sexual thing when it comes to women. You know, that closeness when it comes to women, when you look at men and them being totally against you, ill, like right now men have to tread very carefully with me. Everybody pretty much has to. You don't have to walk on eggshells, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to men, and unfamiliar men, even men that are familiar, you better be careful with me because I am not playing. I'm like a hot potato right now. I am like a fireball right now, and I am not to be played with. I'm like a freaking bottle rocket during the 4th of July. I could go off at any freaking moment. And I ain't talking about my kids. People automatically, oh, her kids, her children, she's getting ready to flip. No, no. Those are my children. I grew them inside of me. I gave birth to them. Obviously, they would not be included in that. But men on the outside, don't play with me. Don't play with me. Cause I don't like nothing that they've been doing. I don't like any of it because they've been doing it to be a part of an agenda. And I don't like that, man. Like seriously, like it's disappointing. I would rather not be around you. I would rather not speak to you because it just is too fake for me. It is. I can't stand that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Right. Well, you got a nice little disguise one, EQL. What'd you say? Oh, well, I do. I think I do have some lesbians watching me or whatever, but like, it's the current behavior of males in this society I am totally repulsed by it, especially looking at it through the eyes of a witch. My trust levels are at a zero as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, see, Ebony Love must be one EQL. You got to be careful, but people have a right to their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know. Uh, See, we got people clashing in the chat room. Uh-oh. Y'all better stop it. Y'all gotta behave, man. It's not that I necessarily think it's nasty. It's just that I personally, just it's not. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but yeah, men and their agenda. Mm-mm. Especially when it comes to black men in the black community. That's the most silliest thing, to feel like you need to weaken the women in your community. That's the dumbest thing ever. It does nothing but weaken the collective. You're weak. You try to weaken me, you're weak. And that's what they want to do. Oh, okay. Ebony, Ebony loves said carpet munch. That's so funny. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's all hug it out. Let's hug it out, pound it out. And I'm talking about fist pound. I'm not, you can't even say the word pound. You can't say pound, moist, wet. You can't say certain things without people relating it to sex, And I think that that's a Southern thing. Uh, you know, you can't come on here and say, "Oh my God, I made some baked chicken last night and it was so flavorful and moist." It was moist. Yeah. How else would you want to describe chicken? You want chicken to be dry? Oh, you must be talking about sex. No, I'm talking about the chicken that I baked last night. Oh God. And see, Miss Laverne Cheesecake said half of the black men need help healing and building up that male dominance. I don't agree with that. I don't think they need to be healed. I think they need to be hurt. Some of them need healing, but uh, some of them need their egos to be completely smashed like a bug. Okay. Some of them are egomaniacs. They need to, like, really, 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 yeah, for their own good, for their own sake. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was ready to conjure a banshee. I'm still thinking about conjuring a screaming banshee. I don't know why I ain't did it yet. I might end up doing it. I might end up doing it. I'm telling you. Because they do too much. The stuff that they're doing is just way, way out there, you know. Uh, yeah. Right. Men don't need any more help. And, the one thing that I've noticed about most males is that if they can easily become corrupted by power, and we're looking at a society that is just that, men corrupted by power. And I'm very upset at at a majority of the male population. I'm very upset with them. It has nothing to do with love or relationships. Like, get out of here. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Sorry. Because they always telling you how you're not good enough. But, it's just the point that you have failed your communities royally. They have failed the communities. They have. Okay. So, I don't like that. I really don't. Anytime you're pushing and selling poverty to women, it's a failure. It really is. It's a complete failure. But they want you on that agenda, on that programming, and it just is what it is. Everybody isn't meant to take that path. That's just like with me. When I was in high school, I had to. I was a high school dropout. Now, when you compare me being a high school dropout and me telling my story about being a high school dropout and then getting a GED, which there's nothing wrong with having a GED. In fact, most people that graduate high school can't pass that test for the GED. Yeah. When you compare that, like, for example, when Kanye West said it, he gets bigged up. But when I say it, I'm just a loser. I'm a loser. Okay. I'm a loser. I'm worthless. That's their version of it. You know, when Kanye West says it because he's a man, he can say that. So yeah, I'm not, I'm not down with it. I'm not down with it at all. And I don't like it. I don't like the way that they are extremely disrespectful to women, in particular women in business. We were also speaking about the other night, even though I did take that live down because it was extremely negative. I didn't want to have that kind of negativity on my channel. But, women in business, women that are in social media, in particular, black women, are being targeted by black males. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing. So we were talking about that the other day. Okay. And them telling you, oh, well, look at old girl. She has a husband that takes care of her. What's wrong with you? And what do you say to that? Really, really, what I believe women should start doing is just not responding at all. Like, just don't respond at all. You know, just don't do it. That's how I feel about it. So, you know, being single is, first of all, not a bad thing. But if you want to not be single and you know what you're going to do to remedy that situation and to, whatever your plan is nobody else's business, but nobody should be getting judged for a space and time in their life. It's almost like it's over the top. Women are supposed to be tied to a man at all times. No. And so that's the problem that I have with them, you know. And when I see them in groups, talking and working together, that's when I get bored, sick, and sad. And I just don't want to listen to it anymore. Because they make it seem like a woman has to always be tied to a man. And if she's not tied to a man, it must be something wrong with her. And she's invalid. She's not valuable. And I don't agree with that. Women should have the freedom of being single whenever they want without being judged. Okay. So that's my sentiment on that. Okay, guys. Anyway, we've kind of went off into another discussion that I'm just going to end this right here because I've got readings to do on TikTok. I want to do some readings, and that's pretty much it. Got to deal with some client work too. So, but yeah, and then that's another thing. Please, I'm going to say this straight up and down. Please stop judging my life or thinking that you know how I feel based upon, and I sense that because I hear everything. Okay. I hear everything. I sense everything. Please don't judge how I actually feel based upon what um certain people are doing in social media. Even, I've noticed that when they are doing their campaigns, when they're campaigning, when they're attacking me, when they are attacking my children, people assume that I'm going through it or that I'm upset. You assume that, but you can't assume that. First of all, it's something that I've learned to adapt to. There's that adaptability thing, right? So I've become adapted to these fake people. I have, to the point where it doesn't even matter to me anymore. Okay. It doesn't matter what they do or what they say. So, and don't judge or think, oh, well, she must be upset. Actually, I'm not upset. Actually, I'm irritated as a woman and as a business owner that this man, that people are looking to this man, and my life has to stop altogether. My rhythm and flow has to stop altogether because of what he's doing. Okay. And I'm tired of it. I really am. And I've been trying to wake people up from that. Thank you, one EQL. Yeah, that is happening. That's been happening since I made the mistake of treating this person like a human being and actually meeting up with them. That is one of the reasons why I've been upset with people in social media. Whenever you see them people doing something crazy, people out, or they could say something, or like when they're dropping revenge porn or something stupid like that, people assume, oh God, she must be going through it. And I'm not. Don't judge me and how I'm feeling and what I'm doing and because I'll be busy doing something else. And I've said this previously, that it's almost like when they say something, I'm supposed to answer to it. And as a woman, as a human being, not just as a woman, you can be a woman or a man. You don't have to answer to everything that somebody accuses you of. And why should I? And just because they're doing it, and it's very oversaturated. I mean, it was ridiculous the way it was obvious. It became so obvious that people should have just said, yeah, but people just, they'll say, oh, you must be, I didn't want to bother you. I've had people say that to me. I didn't want to bother you because I saw what that guy was doing in social media. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? And I think that he knows that, and that's his point, so that he can stop my flow. This is a man that has bragged about being able to stop food from coming into my house. He knows that I'm not on food stamps or anything like that. He's bragged about that. So why listen to him in the first place? And I think that it's a complete change. It's a complete turnaround. It literally is. It's been this way, but when it was taken to the point of no return, and when it was time to break away, that is it. It's completely broken. Okay, that situation is done, and people are looking at it as entertainment. And I think women should think more of themselves than to look at their bodies as entertainment. At the end of the day, yes, I have felt violated. Yes, do I continuously feel that way? Am I in that energy 24/7? No, he does not control how I feel. And I'm tired of that. And he wants people to believe that. That's why I don't want, that's why me and him are arch enemies. He will be my enemy for life for doing that. For doing that. For actually thinking and having the nerve to think that he has the right to try to control how people see me or how people perceive me. Okay. She purposely was trying to manipulate my company and my business that has nothing to do with him, nothing to do with him, but he still was a part of trying to manipulate. And let's keep it real when it comes to that. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of them being able to control how the public sees me whenever they want, right? And so a lot of people say, well, Jamila, you know, you don't have to say anything about them. You're right, I don't. It's kind of difficult not not seeing the pink elephant in the room. But you guys are right about that. That's how they've gotten over. That's how they've consistently captured. Um, that's how they've consistently captured my audience, is by me speaking about them. Absolutely, which we can assume that meant that these people had some kind of control over how I felt, but that's not what it was, because I wanted to point out the agenda that they are obviously on. Okay, and I don't like it, which is exactly, yeah, they are a part of that agenda. And it ain't just against me, it's against all of y'all. Because when you think about it, and so here's the thing. I read this article about this stalker. He was a lone stalker, right? He was, he wasn't with a group. He wasn't gang stalking anybody. But the one thing that stood out to me is that this stalker was literally able to ruin these women's lives, even their relationships with their families. And the way that the stalker was able to do it was by creating this drama around that person. And, it's evil. As a witch, I've been able to overcome that because of the fact that I do have a lot of experience in magic and sorcery. But, at some point, it was gonna have to be some kind of fallout or some kind of change. People are gonna have to stop doing that. It's extremely disrespectful, to women. It is. Women need to realize that when we start respecting ourselves, like not our personal selves, but respecting each other, that's going to be a very powerful move that women can make. That's the opportunity to show one another the respect. And then maybe, you know, maybe just maybe we'll pave the way, because I have paved the way for a lot of people. I don't care what nobody says. Okay, they can try to discredit me and say, oh, well, you did so and so and so, and such and such and such. But at the end of the day, that's separate. Okay, my career, my business, what I created, the things that I am able to do for my clients has nothing to do with that man. It has nothing to do with him or what he's doing. In fact, why, I've asked him a lot of times, why are you trying to integrate this bull crap with what I'm doing on here? Okay, and he doesn't have a good explanation because he's full of crap. So, it's one of those things that unfortunately happens, and it shouldn't be happening. Okay, and an apology doesn't mean anything to me if it's not an actual public acknowledgement and an apology that's sincere. And we all know that that's never going to happen. So once you've already done the damage, that's just like somebody saying that they apologize for blowing up a building. Oh, I apologize. Well, you already did all the damage. You've already done that. You've already created an environment where people are looking at me as if, they should question me. And then especially some of the stuff that was being said, it's pretty much pointless. It's futile at this point. Really, seriously it is. It's futile at this point. Yeah. So, uh-huh. It's pretty much futile. Yeah. Anybody that is, yeah, and Miss Laverne cheesecakes, I definitely, yeah, I know how you feel with that because, you know, um, yeah. Trying to stir my coffee. Yeah, I've been putting a little bit of peanut butter in my coffee. It's actually quite delicious. Adding a little bit of peanut butter to your coffee. It's good. All right, guys. So I have talked enough. I am going to go. I got to get ready to do readings. And so I will be seeing y'all later. Okay. Yes, and if you guys want to speak to me about anything, the link to my website is below. Visit www.divineservicesapothecary.com. Okay. Yes, visit my website if that's the easiest way to speak to me. If you guys want to speak to me, if you feel the need to reach out. Um, and I am accepting new clients and I am accepting apprentices. Okay. So you guys can get at me about that. Okay. And don't let nobody stop you. Okay. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people, for some reason, I don't know what that is about, but I'm getting more and more and more and more impatient. You know, patience is very good in certain situations, but patience should not be applied to situations like that. Okay. You two one EQL. I will see you guys later. Okay. Peace and love to the divine goddess, and y'all have a good one. Okay. Blessings. Bye bye.